Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Parenting Playbook, where I speak to professionals, community members, and most of all, parents to help share tips and real-world experiences of parenting. I'm your host, Kaylee Hanna, and today I am joined by our very own meteorologist, Maria Pasillas, who is not only a meteorologist, but she's also the mom of 2 kids herself. So thank you so much for being here with me today.
I'm excited. Let's get this going. I think there's a lot of things that can go under the umbrella of parenting.
Yeah.
Whether it's actually parenting, like how you are raising your kids, to what your thoughts are on their education, to how you're gonna raise them for the future. I think there's just a lot of labor stories. I think there's just so many things that can go under that. So I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And for those who don't know, Maria and we actually recently had babies, 2 days apart at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So, if you don't watch the morning show, you should. But if you do, you don't really get to see the behind the scenes during the commercial breaks. Maria and I are just constantly talking about our babies and our families and, you know, kind of getting to share those experiences with each other because, going through the whole pregnancy and parenting journey, we really had each other because we were in the same spot. So it was great to have that support system. Obviously we have our husbands, but they're not going through the exact same thing that we were going through at the time. So it was really interesting to kind of be like, hey, I'm not alone, And I think it's very important for both pregnancy and after you have your baby to have that,
And I like that you brought up the whole fact about our husbands because, it could be very overwhelming for them as well. So just having a different ear, I think definitely helps because I think as new parents, especially with your first child, you have to have someone to talk about. Your body is going through some changes, trying to adjust from what it just did for 9 months, you know?
Yeah.
So, like you said, our husbands, they will try to comprehend as best as they can, but they're not, girls. They're not women. They don't know what, what our bodies are going through. So, it was nice to have that the second time around because with Gregory, you were not pregnant.
Right.
But this time around, we were both going through it together. And like you said, we talk about anything, whether it's like, hey, how did your baby do traveling 5, hours this time? How did yours do? Is he sitting up? Is he teething? Is he, weighing 15 pounds already? Like mine's already weighing 15 pounds. And I think, he's on the, whatever curve for what their height and, all that stuff should be. So it's been very fun.
Yeah.
I really do like it the second time around because, like you said, we have someone that can kind of bounce back off how our kids are doing.
Yeah, and I feel like after we have our little babies' doctor's appointments, we're always sitting there going, "How much do they weigh?" We're comparing, oh, what'd they say? Yeah. So I think that's super fun.
Which let me tell you, this time around that I came for his 6-month appointment, our pediatrician, she was like, you know what? Don't even focus so much on their weight or the height. Yes, you have to look at it.
Yeah.
He's like, but what matters is their head size. He's like, this is how you know if they'll be smart or not. So she was like, if they're they're like, if they're underweight, overweight. It's okay. They're just babies.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So she's like, their head is what really matters.
Well, starting off here, I'm really excited because like you said, you've already been a mom before I was, and this is my first go around. So I'm really excited to kind of get your perspective on a few different topics that we're touching on today. But first off, kind of introduce us to your boys. Tell us a little bit about them.
So I have a 22-month-old, which is so weird. Hold on, let me just backtrack. When I used to hear people say, "Oh, I have a 24-month-old," or "I have a 18-month-old," I was like, "Why don't they just say year?"
Yeah, just say a year.
Yeah, but now I get it because that's what they literally refer to them. For their appointments, you have to have certain months. You can't get a let's say a shot if they're a certain month or not. So they have to refer to them by their months.
Yeah.
Or their clothes size, you go by 18 month to 24 month. You know what I mean? So it's not hey, let me go buy a 1-year-old.
Yeah, because they change so much whenever they're one that they may fit into one size clothes, but then a few months later it's gonna be completely different.
And honestly, at the very beginning, it was newborn to 3 to 6 months was day and night.
Yeah.
I feel like he went to sleep, woke up, and he was
too big.
A whole foot bigger. I was like, what just happened? Did I get a new baby and I didn't even notice it? Yeah. It was. Those are some of the most surprising things because I know people were don't buy him a lot of newborn clothes because they're gonna go through it within the first week. And I was like, this is so cute. I want to get it. Some of the stuff he didn't even get to use. Gregory the first time, Sebastian ended up using it. Yeah. But some of this, I still have some clothes that was never when it was never used.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Like, I sat there and I would try, like, all the time. Like, I got to get him in this one. He's never worn this one. And sometimes he would only wear one.
Yeah.
Like, at one time. So,
yeah,
that's crazy.
With my first child, I remember I tried to change him, like, twice a day. Especially if he, like, spit up or something. I was like, okay, new outfit. Sebastian, poor guy. I'm like, oh, he's fine. I'll just clean him up. Like, you know, he's fine with that shirt that he's wearing. And then by the end of the day when I do bathe him, I'm like, okay, that's when he can use a new outfit. But
see, that's how like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, he's got to stay dry. He's got to stay in, like, a new outfit, new onesie. And then, like, lately, I'm just like, oh, he's going to spit up. Like, it's not that much.
You can't,
you know?
and, like, you can't change that. That's just, like, the little reflex that they have. Because learning how to eat is a skill that they have to learn. That's something that the pediatrician also spoke to me the first time around, because I was like, oh, they'll know how to eat, right? And then she's like, nope, like, it's something that they have to actually learn. But no, I have a 22-month-old, and then I have a 6-month-old. And I mean, I know they're too young for me to say this, but I really do think they're going to be best friends. I mean, Gregory looks out for his brother like no one's business. We had our neighbors come out yesterday. Usually if they see us outside, like, they'll come in. It's a couple of little girls. They're all in elementary. And they were going to say bye. And the 11-year-old, she was carrying Sebastian, and Gregory was like, okay, bye. But then he started crying. He's like, no, like, give me my brother. Like, you can't leave with my brother. And I'm like, oh, no, she's just holding to say bye to him, like, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always neat to see him. But I also think, like, he's now at the point where he knows Sebastian is not fragile.
Yeah.
So he'll try to carry him as well. And instead of carrying him, he just pulls his head.
Oh.
Like, I'm like, you can't do that. I'm like, hug his belly. And then he'll go over, just pull his head. I'm like, you can't do that. Yeah. So right now it's a lot getting onto Gregory of things that he can't do, which I'm sure it's a huge adjustment for him as well. Because, I mean, he was by himself, you know, for a whole year, and everything was like, you can do whatever you want type of thing. And now it's like, we have to kind of like talk to him.
Have like little guidelines.
Yeah. Especially at church. My goodness. At church, I don't know if he wants to just show Sebastian to the whole world, and he's just trying to like touch him or pick at his face, and I'm like, this is not the time.
Yeah, you gotta sit down and just pay attention. But I don't know. I think it's cute that, you know, they get to have that brotherly bond, and they're not that far in age. Yeah. So they get to be closer with each other and go through school together, and I think that'll be really interesting.
So that's something that when we, you know, started talking about having kids after we got married, we wanted kids that were pretty close, or at least in pairs. I grew up like that with 4 girls and 1 boy, and all the girls were about a year apart.
Gotcha.
Like me, the sister that I follow, were both in the month of April. So it's something that we really liked. Him and his brother are the same way. Yeah. Me and my brother, I was the last girl, and then me and my brother have an 8-year difference. Oh, wow. And I saw how, like, hard it was on him, because he never really had anybody after we all left. So that's why we were like, you know, I think having pairs would be a good idea. Yeah.
See, and my brother and I we're about 2.5 years in age. So it's not like it's too far apart, but also it's like we're not as close as you would think. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, that's our perspective, but again, of course, everyone is so different. Everyone is different.
Yeah, whatever fits your family, you go with that. If you think 5 years is good, like, by all means, you do that.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, kind of going into motherhood with your first baby, Gregory, was there anything you kind of wish somebody told you, or any advice that you wish you had gotten before you started that motherhood journey?
So actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually got, like, the baby blues really, really bad at the beginning. So I remember giving birth and everything was fine with Gregory. And then, like, that day 2, I just was, like, motionless. Like, I had no emotion whatsoever. Yeah. So I really wish people would have talked more about how that plays into, you know, going into labor. Not saying that everyone's going to get it either. Right. And because you can go, you know, postpartum depression or anxiety, and that's like kind of later on, as opposed to the baby blues that happens the first week of when you give, when you have your child. And that's kind of what happened to me after I went with my check appointment with my OBGYN. He's like, oh, I think this is what you have, but if you're not feeling well, like, we have all these resources that you can talk to, so you can, you know, feel better. If you need to get on medication, that's all right too. He's like, we can put you on something, and if you want to say, I'm done, day 3, I feel fine, we can do that. There's no, like, right or wrong. It's just what makes you feel back to what you used to be. Yeah. So I really like that, and shout out to my OBGYN. He's, like, honestly the best. Like, that guy, like, really made me feel comfortable from day 1. Yeah. And that's why we just went with him. But Yeah, I really wish people would talk more about like the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Because physically wise, I kind of had an idea that I would be really tired and sore.
Yeah.
And that's just, I was just kind of like really tired for maybe the first 2 weeks. I was just,
that's a lot to go through.
Nap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, people would tell me like, if the baby's sleeping, go sleep with him. And I was like, like I think I'll be fine. No, like once it came around, I was like, no, I need to be sleeping when the baby's sleeping. Like now I see why people say that.
Yeah.
So I think that would be what I would hope more people would talk about.
Absolutely. And I didn't even know until, they were telling us at the hospital, and I think it was even my OBGYN that was telling me, like, dads go through postpartum depression too, and you just never even think about that.
Yeah.
And they were kind of talking, it's kind of like they get the hormones from the mom.
Yeah.
I was like, that is just so like I never heard people talk about that, and I wish it would be
more of an open topic. Yeah. And I mean, you hear the stuff that like, oh, people joke around like, oh, did you get sick? If you didn't, your husband's gonna get sick, like morning sickness. Or did you get heartburns? And now your husband will get them. It happened on certain things with me and Oscar, but there wasn't like huge things. But like you said, I wish it was more of like the mental load that you will carry. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but there was, again, some things that I wish would have been more opened. Yeah. For, people to talk about and let you know before going, full in with
just going straight. Because, like, once you have that baby, it's all hands on deck. Like, you don't really have time to ask questions and stuff like that. Like, the people in the hospital, they go out of their way to be like, are you good? Do you have everything you need? But then you're sitting there and you all of a sudden you have all of these responsibilities, and so you're like, I can't even think of what to ask unless somebody's like, hey, like, are you good with this part or whatever. So
when we left the hospital, me and Oscar, I remember both of us looking at each other like, did they just like, is this it? Like,
you just get to walk out with the baby.
Like, if you're good for the first 24 hours, I think, after you give birth, like, you're more than welcome to, check yourself out. They will write up the paperwork and everything, and then they clear you out. But I remember we were like, should we have stayed another night? But I mean, it's fun. Like, you learn, you develop more as a person, you learn new things, and I mean, it's definitely a journey. Yeah,
for sure. And, obviously, like we were saying, every single baby is different. Yeah. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Things change on a fly. So did you kind of go into this new journey with your second son going, hey, I know what I'm doing, I'm completely confident? Or did you kind of go, this is definitely going to be a new experience for me?
So with Gregory, I had such a good labor story. Yeah. Like, I had no complications. It was good. So I was like, sure enough, it's going to be the same, right? Yeah. Sebastian scared us a little bit. He was actually in the NICU for two and a half weeks. So he definitely scared us. It wasn't like my first round. Yeah. But I definitely went with this mindset of like, okay, I'm going to get the epidural. Everything's going to be fine. Like, it's going to be, I'm going to go in, check myself in, leave in 24 hours. And of course, that wasn't the case. So it just kind of shows also, like, you may have a plan in mind, but always plan that that's not how it's going to like play out for you either.
Yeah, for sure. And, we work very odd hours. Yeah. And many moms, they do. Like, they work similar shifts or they work overnights. And I know that as far as my sleep schedule and just my schedule in general goes, like, I'm still not used to it. And I've been doing this for 3 months now, being back at work. And it's okay to kind of go through that struggle and say, hey, I'm having a tough time, and you know that you're not alone because you think about it, so many other moms are going through the same thing. Yeah. So I'm curious, what was that adjustment like for you to, be back at work?
Honestly, for me, like, I was kind of glad to be back at work in a sense because I was like, I need to feel, especially with Gregory, the first time around, I was like, I need to feel like I'm myself again. Yeah. So kind of going back to my routine of every day, waking up. I like that part of it, but also, like, it was the struggle of, like, I'm going to be missing out on things.
Yeah. See, and that's how I feel, too. I'm just sitting over here, and I'm working, doing what I got to do, but then I'm just, like, there's so many things that I could be missing out on, and that's the hardest part, in my opinion.
It really is, and, I mean, I'm not judging anybody that takes care of kids whatsoever, but my thing was, like, there's no one that's going to take care of my child the way that I would take care of my child.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not saying, like, they're not going to be seeing him, but it's like, I just, it's just different being a mom. Yeah. So I didn't want to be like, oh, like they're going to be waking up and I'm going to be missing them saying their first word or like crawling for the first time or whatever. But thankfully, Gregory was a good sleeper. And he would actually sleep until I got home. And I honestly
you're
would not
so
miss.
lucky with
Sebastian, on the other hand, I hear that he wakes up at 4 after, I have left and my husband has left. And then he wakes up again at 6. And then, he's all over the place. But
man.
I'm like, at least I had it good on the first one.
You had that experience, and then you're also getting the other side of it, because my baby Donald, like, he'll sit there and, like, sometimes he'll sleep great, and he'll, like, go to bed at 8:30, and he'll wake up around, like, 7:30, 6, around that time, but, he's teething right now, and so sometimes he's waking up at, like, midnight, 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
I think that's what's been keeping Sebastian up too. I mean, like all this new stuff that's happening to him, he probably doesn't know what's happening or why he's hurting. So he's waking up every hour. So
man,
I'm like, poor guy, but also like, it's a rough time to be awake.
And it's hard to kind of, whenever you are going through those overnight wakings, you're just kind of sitting there like, I just want to go back to sleep. And it's hard to be like, well, he's hurting or he doesn't know what's going on. And he just wants to be like held and comforted. And so I feel like that's a struggle that I had, at the beginning. Like getting used to being a mom is not putting myself first. On the weekends when he does kind of go through like these sleep regressions or, his teething stuff, we have a recliner in our bedroom. And I just kind of rock him back and forth. But it's so hard, like you said, putting yourself first. Because sometimes I'm like, I'm so tired that I know I'm going to fall asleep. It's like, you cannot. You can't. Like, you're just so scared. What if, the baby slips or something? Like, and we have, not tiles, but it's like stained cement. So it's like very hard floor. So I'm always like, what if, like, I like let it go of him and he falls on it? But, it's just a lot that goes on when they're, like, going through the teething, when they're going through sleep regressions, these, like, wake windows. Like, it's a huge adjustment. And I honestly didn't think that we would be teething so soon. I was like, man, I have some time. And then I just noticed, like, one day he just got so fussy and he didn't want to go to sleep. And I was like, what is going on? Like, are we going through a regression? And then I looked at his mouth and I just, like, saw his teeth, like, coming in. And I was like, oh, no.
Well, and then let me tell you this. With Gregory, I had no struggle with him either. He was actually born with a tooth, which, fun fact. So he didn't have problems with his teeth ever. So I didn't know what it was to have, like, babies that are teething. Until, like, I started getting on TikTok and, like, social media and finding hacks. And people, like, wet certain cloths and, like, freeze them up and, like, give it to them so they can, like, have, like, a cooling effect on their teeth. And I think that has helped them. I bought a little rubber ones that they do the same thing. You just put them in the freezer. And that has helped them, like, a lot. But, again, I wouldn't have known. Because I didn't have to deal with this the first time around. And I feel like whenever you do go on, like, sometimes you see things that you're like, okay, no. But then sometimes you actually do find, like, helpful tips and tricks. And you're like, hey, I can try that. And I never would have even thought to do that. So I think, having access to that medium and being able to just be like, hey, what can I do for this is really helpful. Which I think, so, like, people talk about social media, how it may have, like, a pro and a con. I think, like, it does have a positive view when you do have, like, these people that are certified, baby doctors, pediatricians that can tell you, like, this is a way to soothe babies' teeth, or this is a way to help them if they're, not feeling well and they can't get, Tylenol or whatever kind of medicine yet. I think it's a nice little hack to have. It's following those certified people. For sure. And I'm curious, obviously, we've had so many good memories already with our babies, and it's just a lot of fun, going through those milestones and stuff. But what has been your favorite memory with your boys, either with each of them or together? I think I will pick one of them together when they met. So, again, I kind of looked into it of how I would introduce them because I didn't want Gregory to feel like he was going to be replaced. So social media kind of suggested, like, oh, like, no one hold the baby. Like, the mom, make sure you're not holding the baby. Like, have, like, a grandparent. So he doesn't go, like, hey, that's my mom. So my grandfather was holding Gregory, and my mom was holding Sebastian, and that's how they met. So Gregory saw him, gave him a slap on the knee, and then kissed him. Like, he just had to get it out of the system, which is, like, the funniest thing. Like, I don't know how he, like, knew that, but after that, he was so affectionate for everything. He just wanted a kiss. that little baby that he didn't even know was his brother.
Yeah.
Like, and I have like so many videos of him just being so overly affectionate to Sebastian. I'm like, I don't even know, like, who's teaching you love? I'm glad that you know love, you know, but it's like, he was just so overly, like, protective, so love, like, you know.
He just knew, I guess.
Yeah. So that has been my favorite memory. And even when we first took him to our house, when they finally just released him from the NICU, the baby started crying, and Gregory freaked out. Really? He did not know what was happening, that he started crying. And, like, he was just trying to, like, hold his brother, but, like, he had, like, that, like, fear and, like, sad look into his face. Like, I know it's, like, it's probably, like, a sad memory, but it's also, like, a good memory for me, because it's, like, he's protecting his brother. And
he knows what's going on.
1.5 at that point, and he, you know, shouldn't even know, like, these feelings, and he knows them, you know? Yeah. So I think those are some of my favorite memories.
That is so sweet. And I love, whenever Donald sees, like, another baby, or, like, a kid, or even himself in the mirror, like, he just sits there and he gets so excited. And so I think it's just so cool to see them interacting with other babies.
Yeah. And I've always heard, like, babies can, like, talk to each other even though they don't know words. Yeah. And I honestly believe it now. It's like, how do you guys, because, like, sometimes, like, I'll set them up together, and, like, they'll be talking. I mean, Gregory can say words now, but it's like, how are you guys, like having a conversation without actually saying words, you know? Yeah. Like, Gregory will be talking about something with his wheels and his cars, but Sebastian, like, babbles back, and I'm like, yeah, what is going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I have so many videos of the kids, like, just, it's great, but I think that's just so interesting how they can communicate with each other.
That is crazy. Like, I know, I just sit there and Donald's, like, laying down, or, like, I'm holding him, messing with him. I just make random noises at him, and he just sits there and laughs. But we've never had, like, a little conversation.
Wait till he actually realizes that's him on the other side of the mirror. It's going to, like, blow their mind.
Really?
Yeah. I'm waiting for Sebastian to, like, come across that. But I remember with Gregory, he, like startled himself. He's like, wait, that's me. Like, one point, I was like, yeah, that's you. Yeah. It's so cute. It's so cute.
And I do that thing. I'm guilty of just, like, you know, whenever you have, like, a dog or a cat and you, like, show him in the mirror and you're like, that's you. I do that to Donald all the time. I'm like, it's you.
Yeah. And they're probably like, Mom, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, that's some other baby. I don't know who that is.
You'll love it, though. And you'll know it when you see it. Like, oh, they actually recognize that that's them. You'll see it.
For sure. And what's kind of an encouraging message that you have for either new moms or, you know, moms that are about to become moms, just to kind of encourage them in their journey?
Well, I mean, whether it's like a single mom, you know, or a family that has, you know, both the mom and the dad, like, do not be scared to, like, reach out to someone. Like, again, I think, like, after my first one, I was just so scared to have the baby blues again. Yeah. That's kind of like a fear that I did have going into the second one with Sebastian. But, I mean, just having, like, a community, whether it's, like, you know, a sister or a brother or your mom or your dad, just somebody. Yeah. Like, have that and just know that you're never alone. Also, like, the hospital district is very, very well. Yeah. With, you know, asking you, are you feeling okay? Like, they make sure that the mom is okay. Like, they do prioritize the baby once he's born, but they also are very good at saying, like, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Like, you haven't eaten in 24 hours. Do you want me to go get you something? Because I understand if you're hungry, you know, or whatever. So just knowing that you're not alone. Like, I know it may seem like you're alone, but there's actually so many resources out here in Amarillo that, like, you don't have to be alone, like, doing this journey of parenthood by yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And doctors say that the postpartum period takes, like, 2 years, I think it is. Yeah. So it can come at any time. Yeah. So you kind of just have to make sure, like, yes, I'm taking care of my baby, but also I'm checking in with myself. And I even have, like, my husband, he'll sit there and he'll say, how are you doing? Yeah. You know, he knows, like, hey, it could come at any time, and she might not be able to tell or be able to, you know, let me know.
And that is actually something that my OBGYN did emphasize. He's like, it's going to take up to 2 years. We're doing your 6-week checkup right now. Yeah. But if you feel like you need to come back in 2 weeks, tomorrow, or, you know, 3 months down the road, like, don't hesitate to call the office. Like, you don't have to be pregnant to come into the office, you know, for me to look at you or for me to talk to you or whatever. So, again, just really choosing your doctors wisely, I also feel like was a huge benefit. Yeah, for sure. This time around, yeah.
I will say, we do have the same OBGYN. Yeah. So it was funny whenever I was like, you know, I was pregnant and I had just, you know, gotten on the insurance not too long ago, so I didn't have an OB lined up, and then Maria was giving me suggestions, and then I was like, okay, I'll just try her doctor. Yeah. So I love him. He's great. Dr. Gregory May at Panhandle OBGYN. Yeah.
So fun fact, we named Gregory after him.
Yeah.
That's why, we, kept a surprise. We didn't want to know the gender for either or Sebastian or Gregory. So we went in there not knowing what the gender was going to be. We didn't have, a set name set up.
Yeah.
Besides the girl, we actually did have the girl set up for both of them. But obviously we didn't have a girl. So.
Yeah. See, that's how we knew the gender, but before we even knew, we were like, okay, we're going to have a boy and a girl name.
Yeah.
Just to, make sure because Isaiah knew instantly, like, hey, I want to name him Donald Reese after, Isaiah's grandpa and his dad, his middle name. Or not his middle name, excuse me. His mom's name is Reese. And so I thought it was really cool to, have that family aspect to the name.
Yeah.
And I just love naming babies after other people.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun to be able to be like, this is who he was named after.
Yeah. And see, I do like that too. I remember when it came to Sebastian, I wanted to name him after my grandfather. But we ran into the whole, thinking about could people pronounce if we named him like a Hispanic name. We wanted to be Esteban. And, of course, if it went to the English side, translated, it would be Stephen. Yeah. And Oscar was like, well, I would rather it be something that could be, English. And yeah. So that's how we ended up choosing our names. But, I mean, I would have loved for it to be a family name, too. But I think that's what we went with the mindset of, could it be said in both, languages, in English and Spanish. But if it was a girl, fun fact, the first time it was going to be Sophia.
Really? Yeah. That's a beautiful name.
And the second time, Oscar had picked out Penelope, and it was going to be May, after Doctor's May last name.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Yeah. So,
I loved him as a doctor.
Me too. I mean, if anybody has, any, if you guys are looking for one, I would suggest him any day. He's really great. Yeah.
And I love, keeping up with the OBGYN office on, Facebook and stuff, because they're always posting, photos of the OBs with the babies that they helped give birth and stuff. So it's really sweet.
Even the receptionists. I mean, from the receptionists to, the nurses that were taking, your vitals and the laboratory also, the nurses in there and stuff. I mean, everyone was always just great. So, I mean, the Panhandle OBGYN was, a place that I feel so safe at. Yeah. And they understood. Sometimes, they have the sign, if you're 15 minutes late, we may have to reschedule or whatever. Yeah. And sometimes I would make that mark. I would try to leave here at 8 if I had an 8 appointment to make it over there, around 8:10. But they were always very understanding. Yeah. They were always we saw you on TV. Yeah. We know that you were just, hauling over here. So they were just nice.
Yeah, for sure. And whenever I was pregnant, I had preeclampsia. And so they were always, checking. Because I think they knew before I knew, because it hit me in 2 weeks. It just comes up real fast. Yeah. And so Dr. May, he would just sit there and he noticed my swelling, and I'd sit there and I'd try to lie and be like, oh, it's not that bad. Yeah. And he was like, I don't know. And then the one time he rolled his little chair over and he just squeezed my leg, and he was like, okay, you might be getting sent to the hospital to get induced. And I was like, oh man. Yeah. And then that next week, he didn't even come in the room. And they checked my blood pressure 3 times. And they were just like, yeah, he wants to send you over. So that day, we got sent over. And then whenever we got there, I saw your name on the room, door. And I was like, oh, we just missed each other.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's totally funny enough. I know you were there. But we didn't cross paths. I was on the other side in the NICU. But I mean, if, I would have seen her be like, Kaylee's here. I didn't know after the fact when you were telling me, oh, I saw your name. But yeah, we got discharged, but then the baby had to stay. Yeah. But I remember going back to Dr. May. I know I'm probably just going to
This is just a commercial for Dr. May.
Yeah, it really is at this point. I had told him, I was like, I am so, with Gregory, I was like, I am so scared to go into labor and you not be my doctor. Because he had some days that he was going to go on vacation.
Yeah, he almost missed mine. And I was like, you got to get over here.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not having this baby if it's not with you. Yeah. So he even wrote me a little sticky note letter because his whole credentials and everything that he was like, if Maria's going into labor, call me, even if it's in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Oh, that is so
And sweet. We have it saved in, the little storage stuff of all the things that came with the hospital. Yeah. Because I'm like, any other doctor, I feel would be like, well, whoever's on call, you don't have to do it, but I, told him from the very beginning, I was like, I'm scared, and you have made it so comfortable. You're the one that has, looked at me this far, so,
yeah, he knows.
Yeah, you know everything that, is going on, so, I was so happy that he was there.
Yeah, for sure. And, kind of speaking about, pregnancy and stuff like that, kind of talk about how, obviously, every baby's different. So is every pregnancy. Yeah. So kind of talk about the difference between your first or your 2 pregnancies that you had?
So my biggest thing, I didn't really have morning sickness. Like I actually was, very blessed that I didn't have morning sickness. And I think in my family it has ran with, it's mostly girls, like nieces. My sisters that have had my nieces, they've had terrible, like, morning sickness. Like, I'm talking about, like, the whole pregnancy they have been sick. I didn't have any of that. And
really?
Then,
You're so lucky.
I know.
I was just dying the whole time.
And I feel so bad every single time that you would tell me. That's why I was like, she's going to have a girl. Yeah. Like, I could have bet money on it. I was like, she's going to have a girl.
Nope.
But the only thing that I had was heartburns. That's really it, yeah.
Oh, I had them so bad, too.
I think towards the end, I was very, like, hard at, like, talking because I was at short of breath. Yeah. Just because, like, all the weight that you're carrying at that point. But that's just honestly it. I mean, I try to stay active because they had told me that, like, I had low iron, especially with Sebastian. So, like, just trying to, get your blood flowing. And then, like, they gave me prescription to get, like, my iron back up and stuff like that. But I think that was just really it. Like, I was, very, very blessed with both pregnancies that I didn't have, like, all this stuff that kind of goes with pregnancies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm jealous. Like, morning sickness is no joke.
Did you ever get cramps? The Charlie horses?
I did, yeah, in my legs. I would sit there and I'd get them in the middle of the night, and I stood up to get rid of them.
Let me tell you, no one's going to tell you how to prepare for that, because those things come in, like, so random. Yeah. I would yell. I'd be like, and I would try to, like, step, and it would hurt more, so I didn't even know what to do, but at some point I would just make Oscar, like, massage my calf, because I was like, I don't know what to do, and, like, I mean, it was so bad. Like, the pain, that's honestly probably the worst pain. Yeah. Like, labor to me was not painful. I think that was the worst pain. Yeah.
I went unmedicated for, like, 9 centimeters, so it was pretty bad, but.
Which, I mean, I don't know how you did that, Kaylee. I told you, like, that's tough. I mean, at least you can say, like, hey,
I did it. Yeah. I tried it, and I didn't like it.
You're like, will I do it again? Yeah. I don't know.
But the problem with me is I'm so stubborn. Yeah. And so Dr. May would go check on me, and I'd be, like, agonizing pain, and he'd be like, it's not too late to get the epidural. And I was doing, like, the nitrous oxide, and I was like, no, I don't want it. I can do it. And then it just got to the point where I broke, and I was like, just give it to me. Yeah. Like, I can't go
And you were right there. Like, you were at the very, like, last couple minutes probably until, like, you couldn't get it anymore. So you were honestly at the finish line. Like, I think you could just say that you did it all the way across. Yeah. Because, I mean, who's going to tell you that you didn't feel the pain that you did, Yeah. But talking about pain, so again, the Charlie horse was probably the worst pain that I felt during pregnancy. But for labor, the IFB that they put on your arm.
I hate the IV.
Oh, the IV. Yeah, what did I say? The
IFB? That's like your earpiece.
Well, you know what I meant. Yeah. The IV, oh my goodness. Like, I wish they would actually take that off, but I get it why they have to keep it on you. Yeah. In case you, have complications after you give birth, and they can just go ahead and put whatever they have to give you. Yeah. But I kept scratching that thing.
I couldn't get up off the bed. Yeah. It just hurt so bad because they had to put it in my hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because my veins, like, I have rolling veins. Yeah. So it was so difficult for them to do that, and they were like, we don't even want to keep going or trying, so we're just going to do it through the hand.
See, mine was through my hand, too, and I remember I actually bled so much from my hand when they first did it that I was, like, freaking out. I was like...
I bled a lot whenever they stuck it in my hand, too. Yeah. And I was, like, dripping blood. They were like, do not look.
Yeah, that's what they told me, too. And I had asked Oscar after, like, the nurses left. I was like, did that happen with Gregory? And they're like, yeah, that's, like, what happened. I think you just probably don't remember. But I was like, no, that was painful. Yeah. Like, having it on and taking it out. Because, like, the epidural, when they put it on, they took it out, didn't feel it.
I didn't feel anything either. Yeah. But I think I was at that stage where I was like, you can do whatever you want as long as I feel better. Yeah. Yeah. But, like, taking it out, though, didn't feel a thing, and I really thought I would have.
The tape, taking down the tape on your back, that was probably more painful than the epidural.
That's what I was probably focusing on so much was, like, the tape, not the needle.
Yeah. But isn't that crazy? I mean, I think there was things that I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to be hurting or whatever, and it wasn't the case whatsoever. Yeah. I think, like, the IFB, or not the IFB, the IV was, like, the worst for me. Yeah. Yeah.
See, and that's how I felt, too. I could care less about, like, the labor afterwards and stuff like that. Like, I just got an amnesia so fast. I was like, oh, I didn't just go through that. Yeah. But, like, having that IV in my hand, and I was sitting there begging them to take it out. Yeah. I was like, please, like, it hurts so bad. It's so frustrating. Yeah. And they were like, sorry, we can't. Like, you had preeclampsia, and we can't take it out. Yeah. Because if you need medicine, we have to be able to give it to you immediately.
So did you have to keep yours the whole time that you were there?
Yeah, till discharge.
So with me, I asked, because they did have to tape it with Sebastian at one point. Because I was like, I'm just hitting it everywhere. I was like, is there any way that, like, it can at least, like, stay more in place? So they came in, taped it more. But then after that morning, they were able to take it off. Because I asked again, I was like, is there any way, like, am I good?
Yeah.
You know, like, and they're like, yeah, we can go ahead and take it off. So I didn't have to do the whole.
Yeah, I was in there for, I think, like, 2 or 3 days. I went in, like, a Wednesday or Thursday and came out on the Saturday. So I was just, like, sitting there, please, take it out. And they were like, we can't. And I was like, no. So I literally had to wait until, like, the very last second that I was getting discharged for them to take it out. Yeah. And even then, like, it was kind of iffy on if I was even going to get discharged that day because my blood pressure was still high. Yeah. And they, it was kind of in, like, that spot to where it was like, oh, it'd be okay, but we want to check with the doctor. And so they called, like, the on-call OBG, and they were like, hey, is it okay if we let her go? Like, this is what her numbers are right now. And he was like, yeah, it'll be okay, but they sent me home with, like, a blood pressure monitor.
Did they really?
And so I had to keep track of it.
Yeah. So. See, that's the scary part, especially if they would have told me if I would have stayed and they would have discharged, like, my baby. Yeah. I think that would have been worse than the other way around. Like, my baby staying in the night, I leave. Yeah. Because, like, at least he's with doctors. Like, I know they're going to be taking care of him. Yeah. As opposed to him going, you know, home with my husband and then I'm staying. Not that I don't trust my husband, but, you know, like I'm
you want to be there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would have been, I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, it was rough. But, you know, it happened. Yeah. We're done with it now. I'm not, at the moment, not planning on having another one.
Just yet.
I know. It's crossed my mind. I'm like, oh, another baby wouldn't be too bad. Yeah. And even Isaiah's kind of like, oh, I could. And then we're both like, no. Yeah. Snap out of it. Yeah. Like, focus on this one.
I think that's, like, how usually it goes. Because I remember with us, you know, like, we talked about having them in pairs. But then my sister, like, me and my sisters basically all have, like, our babies, like, from 2018, there has been a new baby every single year.
Oh, wow.
So they're all, like cousins.
Very close.
Yeah, they're all, like, you know, back to back to back. And my sister had her daughter, Emma, and then I was like, should we do it? Like, you just get, like, I don't know, like, you see another baby and you're like, I want to have that feeling again. And I remember that was Oscar's biggest thing. He's like, I want to have, like, the baby sleeping on me again. Like, I miss that feeling, you know? So that's kind of like, I think it's just how it goes.
That's how I am. I'm just constantly going back and looking at, like, old photos. Yeah. Even the current ones, like, I took that day. I'm just going back and, oh, my gosh, he's so cute. Yeah. And so I go back to those newborn photos, and I'm like, I miss that. Yeah. And it's so amazing to see them hit different milestones and grow into their own person. Yeah. But also I'm sitting there going, there was a point where he only needed me. Yeah. And, like, he just looked so cute. And I'm just like, I don't think I'll ever, you know, obviously I won't get that with them again.
Yeah. And that's the first thing that they had told me, too. Like, the nurses, they're like, you have given this boy so far everything that he needs. Like, he only knows your voice. He only knows, like, your scent. Yeah. Which is crazy because they do. So when Sebastian was in the NICU, they gave me, like, these little, like, cloth, like, quilt-looking squares. Oh, yeah. And I would carry them with me. Like, just, you know, in my clothes or in my pockets so I can get some of my scent. And then they would put him in his little bassinet in the hospital. Because they're like, that's all he knows. Like, as long as he senses your smell, like, they'll be fine. That's so sweet. Yeah, it's just, they really just know you at the very beginning. And I think that's also, like, one of the things that we're like, oh, that's, like, you know, so sweet. But, yeah, like, I'm like you. We'll hold back for just
a little bit longer, at least.
But we'll see. We never know. You can never say never. Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. Parenting is just so crazy. Yeah. And it's so cool to, like, get to hear different experiences. And I hope that's what people get out of this is, like, hey, people are going through this, not just me. Yeah. And so I hope that this kind of helps provide a sense of support.
Yeah. And parents. There's no, like, set book. This is how you're supposed to do it. Yeah. Like, again, you may have, like, your whole plan set out. Like, hey, this is how I want things done for the hospital. This is how I want to do my parenting. Yeah. This is how I want to do, like, you know, their school or whatever. Trust me, like, for the most part, things will change. And you have to be able to adapt to that change.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad. We should do it again sometime.
Yeah. Whether you want to talk about anything, the kids, us, I'm always up.
For sure. And, of course, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Parenting Playbook. if you have a parenting topic that you want to see covered on this, feel free to email me. It's channa@kamr.com. Love to hear suggestions, feedback, all that fun stuff. So I think it'd be interesting. People want to know different parenting topics, and I want to be able to provide that.
And especially, like reaching out to different, hospitals in the area, different nurses, OBGYNs. I'm sure like people will love that resource of what's out there for them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.